everybody, happy Tuesday. Here we are in For the Love of Dragons, going live again as we do every week. For those of you that are new to the group, we keep having so organically and beautifully, just word of mouth and finding, because people are waking up to the dragons, and the dragons energy is so potent around the world now. People are doing random searches. They keep finding the book in all 3 languages through Amazon, through my site. And it's exciting to see it expanding, because the dragons are so ready to really help us through this shift, through this portal, to release all our stuck stuff, that's holding us back from really holding those much higher frequencies, especially in the heart space, because everything we're moving towards is about the most incredible amount of love we've ever held. And can we get there? How do we embrace that? So when I sit to do a live every week, a lot of times I have questions from you guys. Sometimes I'm inspired to do mini dragon readings. Haven't done those in a while. We need to pretty soon. I feel into the energy just like I do with any of my sessions and my clients or my classes. And I sit and I hold that space, and I just start feeling into the energy of what's happening for the day. What is our field? What's the collective doing? And when I do that for a class or a program, or a client, I do it specifically for that person or collection of beings. So when I come on here, it's really about, all right, what's the energy field collectively, but also for everyone that's going to be tuning into the live and or watching the replay or sharing it with someone that it strikes a chord. They think this person needs to hear this. So I'm feeling today really interesting. I really felt strongly for myself to be in teal and holding my labradorite, which is a really powerful stone. Hello, Denise. And the interesting thing about that is that puts me almost like in a state of fortitude. There's an energy of strength within that for me personally, because the teal blue is very much with my dragon, with my water dragon. And so there's something within that, and yet there's this softness around and this feminine energy, and it could be where we're at with the moon cycle on the planet, and that we're moving into a phase of that hibernation, especially in the northern hemisphere, where it's a change of seasons. We're shifting gears, and it allows us, at least here in the northern hemisphere, as we go into this internal embrace, this internal sort of sequestered time of hibernation. And many of us, even if you're not moving into fall or winter, are even in the southern hemisphere in a space, because of what's happening globally, of a bit of hibernation, of a closing inward, a softness coming in, and feeling really the need for us to be in that embrace. That's really the energy that I'm picking up today, and that the softness, the space of being held so that we can create, being held so that we can be rejuvenated, feeling nurtured and embraced. And so I wanted to just bring in some tools with the dragons for that, because usually we think of the dragons as powerhouse, of rock things through, of fire breath and blast things out, and they do that, and they can move things very quickly for us, which is why I brought all the information out and why I talk every week about how do we connect with them, what do we do. And there's also this aspect that needs to be really brought forward of their embrace, of their capacity to just hold space and nurture us, to rejuvenate us, because many of us right now, with all the chaotic energy in the world, are feeling very depleted, I would say. Energetically just wanting to sleep, wanting to let the body rest and recuperate, wanting to energetically just sort of shut out everything and go into a cave. Especially those of you that are dragon or very connected, you might be feeling like that, like, I want to be my dragon self and go into my cave. I want to just push away. And that's your feminine side saying, it's time to clean house. It's time to get everything in order. That feminine side of us is the one that likes to set everything in order, get our house back together, get ourselves back together, find that cocoon and go, all right, I need to breathe. How do I do that? And so the dragons are available for that as well. And you'll see I actually brought some very soft energy with me today. I've got a little handful here. Who's this precious baby dragon? Little precious sweet. I mean, if that doesn't bring you the soft energy, nothing can, right? Of how we can be held in that and be that baby dragon, be that fetal position, whether we're in our human form, drop into our dragon form, whatever it is, of letting ourselves be that. I need to receive right now. And then here we have Shreya. She's this beautiful pink that just holds the light. I feel like she holds the light of the moon. It feels the softness, the essence of that nurturing spirit. So that's what I wanted to have around me today to share. Um, and moving forward with how do we do that with the dragons? You know, if you move through the book, you'll see multiple lineages of dragons that you can bring in to bring that for you. And one of them especially I want to bring to your attention is Tianu. Tianu is in the Tiamat trine. So the Tiamat trine is that which Tiamat is the great mother that holds Gaia in her embrace. She's the protective guardian of Gaia throughout her third dimensional experience, and she's ready to birth her. She's ready to release her. We're getting very close to that in her ascension. And hello, Willow, yes. Some people are always so surprised and excited when they can catch me online. And I love to see you guys as well. So with Tiamat being the great mother, she has two counterparts because all the dragons work in trines, who are Tianu and Baraha, who hold the masculine and the feminine, the mother and the father energy of this soft embrace. And so there's a way to call Tianu in, and I want to say that I even have, and I have to remind myself because I can't remember all the CD tracks now, but I believe there is one because I know I've chanted and sung Tianu's mantra. But it's a space where even if you don't know the mantra, if you just connect in and want to be embraced by one of the dragons, to ask, to use that feminine creative intuition. And I'll go into that more in a minute. But with Tianu, when you come into this space of what she holds is like she's the dragon mother. She is the one that is the caretaker in the nest, where she holds this big, massive nest of thousands of baby dragons, and they're anywhere from hatchlings to juveniles, and you know that exuberant energy of children, but when they're in the nest, they're like wanting to snuggle and embrace you, and literally you can have an experience when you invite it in, to go in, call her in, and allow her to enfold you in her wings and bring you into the nest. And her mantra is Tianu Ruanai. Let me go ahead and sing it. Tianu Ruanai, Tianu Ruanai. And I just remembered trying to get a good, strong vocal on that a lot of times we have had recently, for some reason, some problem with the sound. So I'm remembering now I need to do this every week to put my microphone in, which is better for the recording for you guys. So with that mantra, Tianu Ruanai, Tianu Ruanai. When you can call that in and use it, you will feel her come in and just enfold you in her wings. And you'll feel yourself brought into a space with her nest, with all the baby dragons, and it will be one when you need a homecoming, when you need to be around dragon family, and that energy of exuberance and joy that replenishes the soul, that really brings you into a heart-lifting place. And that's the beauty of what she does, and you can rest in that for as long as you want, and you can ask for more from her. You can ask her to hold you against her heart space. You can ask her to carry you on a journey, maybe invite the nest to be floating down a river. Let her unfold what you need. For some reason, I'm visualizing that also being possible in a bathtub. So if you're in a space of really needing to regenerate yourself, get in a bath. You know that you're not going to sink under, and allow yourself to be in that space to call her in and feel the bath become that warm embrace around you of her wings. And let your body physically be rejuvenated with the bath water, especially with Epsom salts in it, always useful. But that your energy bodies then are embraced with her, and your physical body is also receiving at the same time. There's always a reciprocal aspect when you work in the energy field, and it trickles down to the physical. But when you and vice versa. But when you're working both at the same time, wow, you might be ready for a deep sleep, and then you'll wake up the next day like, okay, I'm ready to go again. And also using that energy to bring you into that 0 point that allows you to then touch into your intuition, to touch into that creative space within you, because that's a big part of the feminine as well. And this energy being around us in the collective, it's about you having a time to breathe into what's within your intuition, breathe into what you know in your heart is the next step for you. Everything about the fifth dimensional space that we're moving into is about living from the heart. That means in every moment. It means overriding what your calendar might say. It might mean overriding social plans that you have, or what you normally do in a day of this is my routine. that when you're living in the heart space, you're going to step into a place of realizing, oh, I actually feel like this in this moment, and I might need to see if I can rewrite my day or rewrite this hour, because that allows you to stay in that heart space. And your heart space is ready to explode with creativity, to explode with heart expansion, and embrace for the whole, because the humanity and the world as a whole right now needs that embrace. They need that heart lift to propel us into that fifth dimensional expansion. So every moment that you can do in your own heart space expansion is going to bring that for the collective. That's where we need to go. And that's what it means. Living in your heart space is no longer living by the calendar, living by your day planner, living by your routine. When you look at it, those routines have come out of potentially false sets of beliefs or someone else's way of doing things, your peers, your family, social conditioning, family conditioning. And you need to start looking at those pieces of your day and realizing, wait a minute, why do I do this every day? Why do I feel a need to do this when actually if I'm in my heart space and tuning in, I really want to be over here right now, and I can, push that off to later when I am in the mood for it or in the heart space for it, because then it will flow better at that point. So allowing that intuitive creative space. And what does that intuitive creative space also get you to? When you can tune into that, and the more you practice being in it, allows you to tune into it even when you're not, it's all practice. It's about getting into that space where you can start to recognize that stream of communication within you that is coming from your heart that says, this is what I need next. This is what I need next. And in working with this, I'm bringing this forward because when one of the biggest questions I get the most often is, what order do I work in the dragons? Do I have to follow the order in the book? Because I feel like I'm being led here, but the book says to do this order. And I will share with you, as a very simple answer, follow your heart. The book was written in a time and space when the dragons really needed to introduce themselves energetically in a specific sequence to people, so that it wouldn't override or bring too much energy too soon. And where we're at now, because we've all advanced very rapidly in the last 12, 13 years, that now, for quite some time, has been, you need to follow your gut, because your guide team, your intuitive knowing with your higher self and your guide team are going to take you where you need to go if you can hear that voice. Some of you can't hear that voice yet. Some of you don't know. And so being able to tune in and find that feminine space and spend more time with, say, Tianu or Rihanna, the silver dragon, the water dragon who gets you into the emotional body, in that heart lineage, that's going to be your connection zone of clearing out some of the baggage or blocks that are keeping you from hearing that internal voice, and being able to soften into and trust, all right, I can either feel and know, I need to work with the gold dragon today. Interesting, I haven't worked with the gold dragon yet, let me go there. Or that would be like, just a knowing. Or maybe you don't get that yet and you say, okay, I'm going to trust, because trust is also a feminine characteristic. It's our place of surrendering to what is. That's trust. And when you trust and you open the book or a deck or whatever to, all right, guide me to the dragon that I need to call in today, that's going to be what gets you to where you need to be. So allowing that. So feeling definitely this beautiful soft energy. So it's interesting today. It's another piece that jumped out at me that wanted to be present with you on this, because I like to share pieces from the lair, which is the place where you can get all these high resonance dragons that are charged specifically for you as they come out to you. I'm wearing my labradorite, which for me is a big chunky labradorite. It holds a very, as I said, fortitude aspect within me. It gives me strength from within in a way that I know my dragon self is connected, and there's just this, okay, I have fortitude within me. It doesn't mean it's real masculine, but it means it's just this pillar. And what I found interesting is I have 3 separate labradorites available, and this is one that felt very much in the feminine frequency for me. It's a much softer labradorite, and so it's got that pillar of fortitude, but in a little softer stream of it, I guess I would call it, and the beautiful silver energy of the silver dragon wrapped all around it. That these are what hold and can hold those frequencies around you when you can't get to them yourself, or when you need help in getting that frequency around you, which is why people use crystals. They use essential oils. The dragons are the same way. You can have things around you physically that bring that in. And so this is why I like to share things every week that are, options through the Lair storefront. So holding that space, knowing, take care of yourself, self-care and dropping into the heart. This is the space we're in right now. And I'm not sure where, because I don't do astrology. I don't line up to that very often, but I do know that we're just past a new moon and moving towards a full moon. And this is that space of coming out of the dark moon, of coming out into, embrace towards that creativity, that full moon expansion, into lighting up, being lit up with an inspiration or something to pull and move you forward. So let this be that time of self-nurture. Let Tiana embrace you. Pull yourself into the softness of the dragons. And you can do this with any of them. So this is another piece to pay attention to. When I say the feminine side, it's not just those dragons that very specifically hold a feminine frequency. All of the higher octave dragons are fully androgynous beings. They're already in a state of full union, as is your higher self. And so they have both a masculine and feminine, fully divine counterpart there that they will present. So when you move into the dragons of Orion, the gold, the silver, the copper, the dragons of Sirius, the titanium, the platinum, the mercury, or beyond, I know that that's as far as the book goes, but any of the higher octave dragons that you encounter have both a feminine and a masculine presentation. And they can skew or lean one or the other towards you. So if you are in this feminine space, feeling that real call for that, and yet you get, wow, I need to work with the gold dragon. Invite the feminine aspect of the gold dragon to be what presents to you, because you'll get very beautiful, like balanced information that's still part of the gold dragon stream, but it's going to have that feminine aspect to really make you realize some pieces about the power of the gold dragon. The gold dragon is all about power, but from the feminine slant, from that presentation that you might need in that moment, coming in this feminine energy. So hopefully that makes sense for you today. I know some of these great discussions are happening in the book club. We just started last week, and it's always so fun. So if you missed this round of book club and you're wanting to get in on the next one, let me know, because I keep a list, even for months. I know the next one won't be till January, February, but I keep that list, and I notify you first when I open it up, so that of those 10 spaces, you might get one if you know that for all this time you've been wanting to do it. I am also still taking applications. I've started in August, and about half the spots are full for the Eye of the Dragon program next January. That's my 4-month really dive into the way of the Dragon Heart. It's the first half of that full 8-month way of the Dragon Heart program, and that's the starting point. And that is an application, an interview process, and that is also on the table. So if you've been wanting an application or been thinking about it, feeling that heart pull as I talk about it, what it means to be a Dragon Heart, to live fully embodied with yourself, merged with your dragon through the heart space, all of that entails of stepping into who you truly be. If that's ever called you or pulled you and you're feeling that right now, reach out, send me an email, and I'll get you the application so that you can dive into, is this the right thing for me? Because the application process alone is such a beautiful transformation itself. It really pushes some inner buttons to get you moving forward in a direction with the dragons that, whether you end up in the program or not, it's a propulsion. It really is, just by reading and feeling into the questions and how you would answer them, and maybe even sending it in and having that discussion with me. So really excited about all that's happening. I'm very excited that I'm very close to having the new online program, Entering the Dragon Realms, ready. We've got 3 of the 4 modules done, so we're working on that final one. And just putting this out, we've sent emails out to all of the previous book club and Dragon Hearts members, that if you want to participate in that 4th module with a 2 or 3 minute video that talks about your experience, what you gained from it, how it changed your life, please get a hold of me, because I know that some of you probably didn't see the email. It might have gone right into your spam filters. So check for that, and if you would be willing to help us out, we would love to get that wrapped up and have that program available by Thanksgiving, Christmas at the latest, because most of my part of recording is done. I'm also going to release the Planetary Healing with the Dragons course. That's being refined right now to offer as a mini class series. I know last year, about January, we started the first mini class, and I had said, I know there's many people that can't do midweek classes, And so I'm trying to create more because it's very hard for me with kids to give away my weekends on Saturdays and offer Saturday classes. But it doesn't mean that I can't record classes and start having them available as a mini series of classes on different topics. So if you have topics that you want to see for that, what would you like to see an hour, hour and a half, 2 hour discussion on with the dragons of what would be useful to you as a tool that would be in the series of the mini classes that you would like to be able to go to download, to reference whenever you need it. And so that's something I'm creating right now as well. So always open for your topics, your questions, because essentially I know how to work with the dragons. I have all these things come in, and I am always still learning and expanding. We had new dragons show up in the book club last week, which I think is one of the exciting parts of it, because new dragons, when they have the opportunity to come in based on the frequency of a group, then it opens doorways. And I will say that now we have Andara dragons showing up, in addition to all the Middle Earth, Deep Earth, crystal and gemstone type dragons. The Andara crystals are now showing themselves in their dragon form, and it's magnificent. So always love to feel and see those things expand because of the group work. So hello Teresa and Candice, and just inviting everyone. This is our dragon family. If there's pieces that you want to see come out, if there's things you want to see offered through the lair, I had a great suggestion come in, and I'm going to see how to implement this. For those of you that have done dragon readings with me, you know, it's a 20-minute dragon reading, and it really gets you aligned with your guides. Sometimes your higher self comes through and reveals. And so knowing, like, some of those dragons that are very particular to you, what would it be, how amazing would it be to have an artistic piece much like these? I'll show you this wall, because these are the canvas prints in the shop, and they're going to be the oracle deck, which is something I'm also working on. But how amazing would it be if I could work with the artist who created these for me and bring through your specific dragon with its characteristics, its qualities, so that you have a visual representation of your dragon available, whether it's a print or a digital image. That was an amazing idea that someone came up with and emailed to me. So it's those kind of suggestions that are going to make the store what you want it to be. And so this is what I'm here for. I tell you guys every week, I'm here to bring you tools. It's the whole reason I'm here, the whole reason that the dragons, with me as one on the Council of Mu, that's meant to stay, I was meant to be embodied and wake all the Council of Mu up, but also to bring forth all the dragons and dragon hearts across this land, so that we have beacons, big beacons of light that are waking up all throughout, and being able to go out and activate the dragons that are actually in the land physically, and under the land physically, to release them. And that's starting to happen as you guys get the tools, and that I can share and say, yep, this is how you do it. And that's what that planetary healing class is. It's all about beginning to recognize them in the land. And I'll talk more about it when I actually release it. We're going to start edits on it right now, because it was a mini class, and so we've got to do some edits to fine tune it to actually be available just as like a book off the shelf, but in video form. So you guys have a great week. I love coming and being with you guys. And send me your topics. If you want something specific next week for the live, send me an email or an instant messenger, yeah, private message, and your live will be the topic. Always open to that. So have a great week. I love coming and seeing you guys. We'll see you next Tuesday. Bye, everybody.